Hi, year 8. Welcome to your next geography lesson. First thing I'd like you to do is this do now on the board right now. Spot the difference. You have a photograph from 1990 of Dubai and you have a photograph of 2003. You'll notice the arrows pointing to the same tower block row. Those are exactly the same buildings, but I'm sure you'll notice that everything around them has changed significantly. So I'd like you to write a list of points describing the changes that you see. I'll give you 10 minutes for this because there's actually quite a lot. The longer you look, the more you will see. Be as detailed as you can, be as descriptive as you can. Pause the video now. Okay, so here's some possible answers. I'll let you read through them all. You'll see there's a lot going on here, not just the obvious building change. You've got the road, comments there about the height of buildings, the fact that the tallest buildings do tend to be in what's known as a linear pattern, in a line along the road. Quite a lot going on there, including an almost complete covering up of that natural desert environment. If you looked at that second photo only, you could be forgiven for not having a clue that that was taken in a desert at all. Okay, moving on. So if you could copy this title with the date, you already hopefully have a pen, pencil and ruler with you. If you need to get anything like that, please make sure you pause and yeah, write the title, read the objectives, and we'll move on. Pause the video now. Okay, just to remind you that in year 7, you learnt about lots of different places in Dubai. We mentioned that last time, and here we go again. For example, the indoor ski slope, the international airport, the many new buildings. If you look carefully at that photograph, you'll see all the cranes on the roofs showing just the sheer volume and number of construction. It's got the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, 829 meters tall. You might not know, but there's quite famous now for car racing. The Palm and the World up the top there, 2 man-made islands. The Atlantis, the Palm Hotel, and many other hotels, all absolutely incredible, amazing feats of engineering just like that. And also, yes, air conditioning, Dubai, remember, all of these things, this is in a desert. So a key term just to jot down now, leave a line under your title. It's a simple one. It's one that you really should know already. This lesson's all about the economy, but let's just clarify. The economy means how money is made and spent in an area, including jobs, trade, things like that. Your task is to copy that, and yes, and then draw a small image to help you remember what the economy is. So get your pencil out and do that. Pause the video now. So some key information about Dubai and about its changing economy. I'm going to talk through this, and then your job is just to copy this into your book, nice and simple. Dubai used to rely heavily on fossil fuels, in particular oil, but there is a finite amount of this resource, meaning there isn't an unlimited amount, and it will run out. It is thought that there may be only about 10 years worth of these reserves, these oil reserves left. So in 10 years' time, they may run out, and Dubai will have no more oil. As a consequence, Dubai has diversified, they've changed, and decided to focus its spending on developing its tourist industry instead. So they know that in 10 years' time, maybe a little bit longer, but roughly 10 years' time, there is no more oil and no more money to be made from it. So they had to do something about it. And tourism is what they decided to do. However, Dubai also has a large amount of service industries, with jobs in IT and finance. Services being jobs which help people, do things for them. So pause the video now and copy those 3 paragraphs down. Okay, another 3 paragraphs that I'm going to read through and then you're going to jot down again. Oil refinery. So refining oil is a primary job which involves extracting oil from under the ground or sea. So primary jobs are extracting natural resources, in this case oil. Tourism is a tertiary job, a job which involves offering a service to people. These people being tourists who wish to travel. So everything from the airline, the service being moving, transporting people across the world, to the hotels, the service being giving people a place to stay, the various attractions, the service being offering something for people to come and look at and come and do. Those are all offered as part of the tertiary sector or a tertiary job. IT and finance are also tertiary sector jobs. Dubai's economy has developed from one that was mainly a primary economy to one that is now tertiary. That's the big change. So pause the video, copy those 3 down. Okay, so a 4-minute video clip for you to watch. The link is at the bottom there. And 5 questions for you to answer in full sentences, please. So for example, for number 1, oil was first discovered in Dubai in, and then you write the answer. So pause the video and give that a go. Okay, so you should have watched the video and had a go at those answers by now. You'll see them on the screen. I don't need to talk through any of this stuff, so I'll let you read it through, correct and add anything you need to your answers. Make sure you have all the information you need, and we'll move on. So pause the video now and correct your answers. Okay, so we've looked at how the economy has changed. Now let's talk about the impact of that, urbanization. Urbanization is the process of people moving into towns and cities. Due to the changes in Dubai's economy, the city underwent rapid urbanization. People moved in search of jobs in the newly built commercial or office buildings, and more housing was constructed as a result. Just like many cities across the world, just like Chongqing in China, just like Nairobi in Kenya, where the Kibera shantytown is situated, that you've learned in year 7. All of these places grew and have grown due to urbanization. And urbanization pretty much always occurs because of an increase in the amount of jobs, of employment in those places. So copy that down and pause the video now. Okay, one final task to do. It's going to take a bit of time, this one. You'll need a pen and a pencil for this, a bit of drawing coming up again. So how has energy helped Dubai to grow? Well, on the next slide, there's a story of Dubai. Now, I appreciate lots of you can't print this off, so I'm going to give you a way of doing this. That means you don't need to. You're going to read through the story. You're going to draw a picture for each of the 9 stages. And there's also a couple of things to write down with each picture. And then there are some summary questions to answer when you've done this. Well, let's move to the next slide and you'll see what I mean. So here we go, the story of Dubai. If we start with number 1, if we read through it, in the 1950s, Dubai was a small pearl fishing and trading port. Ships moved in and out, but it was generally very quiet. You'll notice I've drawn a couple of pictures there. I've drawn a picture of a pearl in an oyster and a picture of a boat. This is going to help me to remember what this is all about. What I'm going to write down in my book is just the bold words. I'm going to write fishing and trading port, and I'm going to draw those 2 pictures underneath them. Then I'm going to move to number 2. I'm going to do the same thing, and so on and so on, all the way through to number 9. And when I finish that, I'm going to have a go at those 2 questions, question 1 and 2, in full sentences again, please. And if you've got time, if you've managed this quickly, if you've still got plenty of time of the hour left, you can give number 3 a go. So give that a go. Pause the video now, and I'll go through some more pictures to give you a bit of support once you've had a go yourself. Okay, so by this point you should have pictures and the bold writing for all 1 to 9. You may have even completed question 1 or 2 already. If not, don't worry, because I'm about to go through the pictures. So the location, point number 2, didn't really talk through that. Well, being close to Europe, Africa and Asia, the Middle East is right in, as the name suggests, the middle of all of those continents, meaning that it links to everywhere in the world. It's not that far to get anywhere else. And in 1966, for number 3, oil was discovered. It was stored in barrels. Yes, there we go. Number 4, this meant that lots of new workers arrived to help find it and sell it, and the city therefore started growing very fast. Here's where urbanization starts to occur. Number 5, as a result, we need lots of services. We need roads, we need schools, hospitals for all the new workers. And money from the oil was used to help pay for that. Number 6, Dubai was made into a free trade zone in 1979. What does that mean? It means that companies from anywhere in the world could move to Dubai to make money. Prior to that, it was only companies from Dubai themselves, usually run by the government as well. Number 7, Dubai began to make lots of money from tourists visiting the area. It became a popular place to go on holiday, to marvel at amazing buildings and lie on beautiful beaches. And now we know why. We know why that happened. We know that oil is going to run out. So this is why the rulers of Dubai made the change. They said they were going to focus on tourism. Number 8, in 2005, only 17% of Dubai's money came from oil, and that number will have certainly decreased by now. And that's the most up-to-date fact we can find. A huge number of buildings are now creeping up. 25% of the world's cranes are in Dubai. That's an amazing fact, isn't it? Dubai is now an important place for technology, with companies such as Microsoft moving there. And this is number 9. Who knows what Dubai could be like in the future? So there we go. You should have pictures down for all of those things, and you should have, there we go, picture number 8, sorry, missed that one. There's a crane. But yes, that should be done, and you could either have finished question 1 or 2, or you could pause now and do those 2. So, answer to question 1, what type of energy did Dubai grow up on? Oil. What effect did this energy have on the city? Well, it created jobs and encouraged urbanization. Hopefully you've used that key term there. It meant lots of new workers arrived, the key term being urbanization. Number 3, how did Dubai's location help its development? Think about which continents it's closest to. Well, it's back to point 2, isn't it? It's close to Europe, it's close to Africa, it's close to Asia. Exporting, meaning selling to other countries, the oil was therefore easier. You didn't have to travel as far to transport it around the world. And today, when we talk about tourism, it means it's not that far for tourists to travel to get there. Obviously, if you live in the Americas, it's a bit further, but when you consider the number of people living in Africa, Europe and Asia, you've got a majority of the population of the world.